Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk about servers and clients. So, what is a server? A server is a computer or program that provides data resources or services to other computers on a network. This could be any computer or a computer program that is running inside a computer, like inside your computer, to provide services to other computers on the local area network. A client is a computer or program that requests or uses services from a server. So basically, whatever I'm trying to say is your computer can be a client and a server at the same time. Basically, you just need to know that a server provides the services and the client is the computer that gets the services. For example, if you are, let's say, at a restaurant, the waiter is a server, they are providing the service. And then the client is the one who's taking the service from the server. Examples of clients, we have a web browser. A web browser is a client because it accesses web resources from different web servers. So when your computer is hosting a website, then that's a web server. And then yeah, there are other services, something like email. Email is a service, and if your email app, like your Gmail app or Outlook on your laptop or computer, that's a client. And then now it's accessing the email server to be able to read your messages, your emails, to be able to send and receive emails. There are a bunch of servers, so web servers, mail servers, file servers, database servers. We access a lot of things from the internet, from different servers. Whatever you're accessing on the internet, on another computer, that is a server that you're accessing. For servers and clients to be able to communicate, they use something called a protocol. A protocol is a standard or set of rules that define how devices communicate over a network. For example, a protocol would be, think of it like in terms of the rules of the road. Different places drive differently. When I learned driving in Kenya, we had roundabouts and then we had to keep left. But traveling to another country, you can realize that people drive on the opposite side of the road. So they drive on the right. Driving out here, it's a bit different. Instead of roundabouts, we have four-way stop signs, which are quite different as compared to roundabouts. So basically, what I'm just trying to say is when you go to different places, you get to learn the rules, the protocols. So protocols are just like a standard set of rules that define how devices communicate over a network. They define how messages are sent, how data is formatted, how devices respond. When a client connects to a server, it connects through a logical point of communication called a port. Let's define what a port is. A port is a logical communication endpoint used by a network service on a computer. I like to use this example. Imagine you're going to a hotel. The hotel has different services like gym services, it has swimming pool services, spa, it has rooms in different places. All these places have different doors or different hallways to be able to access those places. It's not like we will do the dining inside the swimming pool or maybe sleep inside the gym. You understand? So they all have different places that provide different services and they have different doors to be able to access those places with the different services. So those doors are ports. Let's just say those doors are ports. And a server can provide different services. So, like your server could be a web server and it's also providing domain name services. Probably it's also your email server somehow. So, all these services are accessed through different ports because the server needs to know, oh, this computer, it's accessing web traffic. So, which port are you coming in from? That's how the server would know what service you're trying to access. Examples of ports, there are common ports that have been standardized that, oh, these are the services that are accessed on this specific ports. A lot of people know them. So if you just want to know these ports, you could go on Google or ChatGPT or wherever you get your resources and just type common network ports and you will see the different network ports with the different protocols that you access using these ports. HTTP means Hypertext Transmission Protocol. And if you know a bit of coding, you would know like HTML, hypertext markup language is one of the languages that is used to develop like websites. To access those kind of languages, those kind of services, you need a protocol called Hypertext Transmission Protocol. That is HTTP, and it uses port 80. There's another protocol that we use these days, HTTP. We used to use it back in the days. It's a bit unsecure. So now we use HTTPS, like Hypertext Transmission Protocol Secure, which lives on port 443. Let's say I'm accessing a web server, I'd use port 443 to access it. There's another service called DNS, Domain Name System. Domain Name System is like the phone book of the internet. When you're trying to access, let's say, something like google.com, computers usually don't understand what google.com is. Computers only understand IP addresses, which are numbers. But imagine if I wanted to go to google.com and have to memorize the IP address of google.com, then memorize the IP address of facebook.com, then memorize. Like, it's a lot of numbers, and human beings, we're not so good with memorizing numbers. We're good with memorizing letters and words. So we use the words to translate to IP addresses. For example, I'm going to use an example of on your phone, the way you've saved people. You've saved probably your mom under her phone number, your dad under their phone number. You've saved them under different phone numbers. And when you want to call them, you don't go and start writing their phone numbers just like 07 and writing their number. Like, unless you really know their number and you're very smart and you know all your contacts. But most of the time, like the rest of us, we would go on the phone and type like mom and then call, and the phone will not know who mom is, because the phone will know the phone number 07 blah 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 blah. So it would know that number. So when you write mom, it would translate that mom into the phone number that you're trying to call, and then now it would call your mom. So that's the same thing with domain name system. So domain name system is just like a phone book for the internet. It has different IP addresses translating to different names. It lives on port 53. Something else like SMTP. SMTP is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is used to transfer emails, and it lives on port 25. As I said, you can go and check, just Google and see what are the common ports that are used on servers, and you'll be able to see the different ports that are used for different services. I hope that you found this information helpful, and I hope to see you in the next video.